Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
And we'll kill the music and we're ready to go. Just interrupting you there, Derek. Sorry, go ahead.
I just realized I haven't been here for a session, so... Yeah.
Indeed. Wait a minute. In fact, I've got a sound for that. Hold on a second.
Now that we can hear it.
No, but those at home will be able to hear it. Anybody watching the replay?
I should jump on the stream.
Now that you can do that.
Don't cross the streams, though.
Yeah, whatever you do.
That is actually possible if you're playing and you're streaming, because it sounds terrible. You get this weird lag or echo in the background.
Right. Unless you're fighting Zool, then you can cross the streams.
Right.
For some reason, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always an exception to the rule.
Yes.
And the things that I learned from Ghostbusters is when somebody asks you, "Are you a god?" you do not say no.
And I loved in Ghostbusters Afterlife, he got posed with that question again, and both Bill Murray and Winston and Venkman, both, they look at him, they're waiting, and he has to think about it, and he's all, yes. He's like, I got that one.
Yeah,
That's a good movie.
So let's go ahead and do a recap since we are all back, and it would be of some value since we have had quite a bit of change from the last game to this one.
Yeah. Okay,
so take it away, Dale.
Yeah. So the next day came of us being in that strange reality, kind of marooned there, along with a bunch of other superpowered beings in that underground abandoned military base. Morning came, Black Mass offered to provide a tour and introduce us to the rest of the SPBs who are there. While doing that, looking at like TV broadcasts that happen on this pseudo Earth and looking at the various different people who are out there, it's becoming more and more obvious that, yeah, clearly they're not actual human beings, because they all have this weird generic feeling and look like there aren't that many variations of people. So that's interesting. Found out from talking to a few of the SPBs that even though Legacy came from August 1994 in our reality, other SPBs came from different times and even in the future compared to us. So there's a weird time dilation thing going on between dimensions. Some of the SPBs we met were Fighting American, who's a Captain America-ish looking dude, who's from the same dimension as Black Mass. And Diviner, who has some special abilities, and even at one point touched Hyperion's forehead and scanned his memories, and used that to actually verify that the black body beings that we encountered that brought us here seem to look exactly like what these like pseudo people on this Earth turn into when they start attacking. So it seems like we got the real deal, whereas everyone else, they were poofed here because of a cataclysm on their worlds. And one of the people we met was Billy, who's going to be a new player, played by Mike. He's a cybernetic punk rocker dude with a cyber mohawk and a cyber arm. He plays guitar, is a part of a band from his world called Data Wipe, in this like Shadowrun-esque type of reality with magic and technology, because his grandfather was Electrum and ruler of the United States due to some World War II deals that he made with the government to beat the Axis powers in World War II. And that made the United States and his world extremely advanced, to the point where they even had cybernetic technology, along with magical stuff.
So this guy's our nephew?
By the way,
Yeah, like, he's like, he's an interdimensional relation, to be sure.
Dale has forgotten to mention this is caused Freddy to go on an unhinged rant
Yeah.
about all of this being one Electrum and all his fault.
Also, his mother is my mother,
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot
but
of like,
different father.
right. There's like these interdimensional, like different people from different realities kind of have similar but yet different roles in relation to everybody.
Yeah,
So that's been
I was a
confusing.
bad guy.
So he's your half brother nephew.
I forgot to tell you guys that story.
Is he his own
remembered to
grandpa?
say it.
I'm my own grandpa.
Yeah.
No, not exactly. But so anyway, yeah, whatever his relation, he's more or less related. So yeah, he's got magical powers. He can manipulate sound, plays the guitar. He's got a cyber arm, which apparently is made mostly of Drixium, which is pretty awesome, nearly indestructible cyber arm. So after learning about Billy's information, we also met Fatal and Ruby. And let's see, Black Mass explained that there was one who was there before named Phenomenon, who had clairvoyant powers and prophesized the legacy of 5 will act as the anchor. Clearly that's referencing us. And especially because they've been trying to figure out how to create some sort of interdimensional portal, but they keep running into dead ends. So using bits and pieces of information they gathered, Lightbringer used her galaxy brain to piece it all together, fill in the gaps, and then expand upon it to make out a theory of interdimensional relativity, so that Hyperion is able to use that and make working blueprints for an interdimensional portal, which is going to require all 5 of the legacy to act as physical anchors, and then shown as a focal point using her teleportation power to open the portals that people can walk in and escape back to our reality, which is the essentially the goal. Oh, and we also learned that there are apparently some points throughout this world that have different energy signatures that might mean something, probably worth looking into at some point. And there is at least one bad guy out there that came from other realities that were destroyed. Her name is Holocaust. She came from the same dimension that Diviner came from. She was apparently probably the main cause of destruction of that Earth. And like what Shelley mentioned, one of her mooks or goons or whatever is an alternate version of Shone. Yeah, that's
Is that the only alternate reality version of us that we've heard about anyway?
That
Hy-
we've heard of and that we know of.
Hyperion was mainframe.
Oh yeah, from Billy's reality. As far as any of other like alternate us's also being on this world, we haven't heard that. Only Shown apparently. So far. So there you go.
You're gonna meet her, and she's gonna have you're gonna be like jealous of her hairdo or something like that. Alrighty then.
So it is the next day from where last we left off. Things have been busy in the compound now that there is the buzz going around the group that they're not spinning their wheels anymore. They have a working theory to get off of this rock, get out of wherever it is that they're at. There, of course, is still very clear tension within the legacy at this point in time. After the rant that Angler went on about how everything is possibly connected, and he's got his always sunny in Philadelphia board of index cards up in his room with a bunch of yarn connecting all the various points. One of them says the sound that birds cry, linking down to Electrum, as well as the price of gas in Iran, You know, it's like everything is just threading together, and he's just like, it's way too perfect. You know,
And there's a name in the middle of the board, Pepe Silva, but no one knows why it's there. It's just hard to ignore the most coincidence that ever coincidenced.
Yeah.
How
And yes, I
coincy.
used the same word 3 times in 3 different forms of a word.
And the thing that ties it all together
Electrum.
are Levi's denim shorts.
okay.
Sure.
Anyways,
And since it's the 90s, it would be 501s.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Button fly.
Mhm. Oh, I hated those things.
I had we had a bunch of exchange students when I was growing up, and when I was a freshman, we hosted a girl from France, and she
Did
was
she have
my
a cone head?
no,
Oh.
she was very nice, but
We come from France.
this was in the 90s, and she was really excited to go shopping, and she wanted to buy some Levi's, some American Levi's.
Funny.
Yeah, I remember when our boy from
I was like, I don't
Russia.
have any Levi's.
Russia was here. He
Too
took
expensive.
home a lot of Levi's.
Mm.
Like, I will leave all my shirts and socks and underwear and everything else. I'm just going to take suitcases full of Levi's home. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
who's rolling for our experience?
that's right. We need to do karma.
That's right.
I haven't done it in a while.
Okay,
ahead.
you can do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Just 1d10, correct?
1d10.
/R 1 space d10
And it's times 50.
Tree
times
fitty.
50, so 200.
So 200, and then 200 times. Technically, at this point, we would be making that 6. Oh, no, sorry. No. It's still 5. He hasn't joined the karma pool yet.
Right, yeah. So then, all right, that gives us 1,000 then. So that puts us at, right now we've got 275 in the available karma. I know we normally put that to 300. Nice round number there. So then 1,000, that gives us then 975, which we add to our current banked karma of 1895, giving us a total banked of 2,870. Let's see here. It is currently still my turn in the improvement cycle, but I found out that in order to advance a particular power that I have, I only need 1,000 karma to do it, but Hyperion needs to create tools so that he can do that to himself, which would probably be prudent that he makes those tools as well so that he can create the interdimensional portal with probably greater ease. So would it bother anybody if I hold off on trying to spend karma until the tools are made?
I'm good with that.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. So we're holding on to that. So again, 2870 for bank karma, and our available karma is back to 300.
Okay. So, as I was indicating, the base is kind of a buzz with the people that are with the SPBs that are there. There is a tangible effort now as missions have been run at various points during the day and some cases night as they're starting to collect supplies. Using that signature that Black Mass had talked about, which apparently is a type of dimensional resonance that indicates that it does not come from here. And you, on that theory, it means anything that anything that the group is able to salvage from that, since it is not tied to this dimension, is likely safer to use than attempting to use anything from here given the fact that they have theorized that everything is connected.
Better to use materials from those weird sites than anywhere else on this weird Earth.
Correct. That has, of course, caused some problems, given the fact, that there's not a whole lot of them. Transportation to and fro is not an issue. It looks like Amazing Grace, despite her stance and stature, because she gives off an air of command, she probably was a leader of some kind in her planet, or her dimension, I should say. But right now, her primary use has been her teleportation diamonds, which are essentially teleportation portals that you can step through and immediately go to someplace else within this particular dimension. So her particular skill has allowed the group to zip in, attempt to grab something, and zip back out before there has been too much attention drawn. But by the time you guys get up for the next day and start checking in with everybody, you can tell that the ready room where Black Mass has actually been at and kind of coordinating some of the things, as well as it looks like Diviner as well as Megalith have been kind of going over the designs and starting to piece some of the pieces together in a skeletal form, not actually soldering and putting them together, but like the design of the physical structure, what it's going to look like initially. Since it's going to be potentially just a pentagon because of the 5 points, it's probably going to look like this weird, bizarre skeletal sort of concoction. So it will likely look very makeshift, but that's what they're currently working on right now. They're just not they're not welding anything together because obviously no one knows what the final size is going to look like. So, or what full amounts of technology they can grab and and piecemeal together, or what they're going to have to actually convert from almost nothing. What you have found, Dale, since you've checked in, Ruby has the capability of hold on one second. I don't think it was just disintegration. I know that's one thing that she can do. That doesn't help. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will work.
I'm just thinking about how many boons this would get us.
So you're thinking like vampire right now. Okay,
I mean, just like metaphorically, like, man, they would owe us like big time for getting them out of this world.
All sorts of major boons.
Technically speaking, you are not inaccurate.
But
they have a phrase for that. It's called a life boon.
I don't think Carmen's inclined to cash in on any of that.
Right.
Brittany's just doing some math, though.
Carmen isn't keeping score, but Brittany is.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Hold on. I need to grab something. Give me just 1 second. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
I was just thinking about like how once they get into Earth Prime, like they're gonna have to set up a new life, and like they'll owe so much of that to us. But like, what if once they reach or like make their new life? What if they end up, I don't know, in some opposing position to whatever we're doing? Could be a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
What might
okay.
that be like?
I was wrong. So what she is able to do, you have been able. I was curious if she has another, a different, or an additional power set, but it looks like what she has been doing is taking the larger items that they've brought across. Like at one point, now that you guys are up for the next day, and of course you're free to move around. You're free to move around the cabin. You're free to move around the base as need be for the most part. You can see that one of the larger pieces they have brought in was part of a body of what appeared to be like a crashed airplane, like an actual airliner. And she's been using her powers to disintegrate chunks of that off, so it just kind of falls down, safely, and they can, move it in more manageable pieces.
Interesting.
Do you like have to fire a beam to do this, or like?
No, it's all by touch. So like you see
Okay.
like this sort of like energy buildup crest off of her hands, but it's all by touch. So it's in that sense it's very accurate. Like she can just kind of take her hand and run it down the fuselage or something, and it just goes like it's almost as if she's like super hot and it just melts right away.
Got it.
Her
Okay.
her disintegration powers. She may look like a one-trick pony, but it's one heck of a trick, basically.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So is she like taking it apart in like logical pieces, like disassembling it, or just like disintegrating it?
She
Like,
there's guidance to it. Yeah, she's not just like disintegrating and just turn it into slag.
She's not just like breaking this piece off, but breaking this piece off.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
Like they're trying to keep well, for example, the fuselage example I'm using, when they brought that in, it's obviously not in a whole piece. Like there's pieces missing, but in order to make it manageable, they try to cut it in half, or like break off a piece here or there or whatnot to not only make it more manageable, but to also access other pieces of like electronics or framework or something that they might be able to reutilize. She's more, since she's just disintegration, and since and Derek, I know you don't know these characters. You may not have even seen the descriptions. If you go into the supers chat,
Yeah, I've looked at them.
yeah, every one of them have got pictures. So Ruby is in kind of blue clothing with a blue cloak, and absolutely red skin.
Oh, okay. And which one of these are any of these villains?
None of those are quote unquote villains or have been introduced as villains.
Not to our knowledge.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
As far as we know, they are all good guys.
That is correct.
Okay.
But she's been in the process of like cutting this down so it's more manageable, and the smarter tech heads or higher beings that can work with this can do something from there. Fighting American, he's not doing that, but he's more heavy lifting because this is kind of out of his scope. So when he goes out on missions, he's more he's there more for muscle and bringing things back through, as opposed to knowing what does what. Megalith, what you've been surprised, and the scuttlebutt that you've heard just kind of chattering or whatnot. His power seems to be derived from what's called what he nicknames One Mind, and it's some sort of like body, or it's like a body mind unification, and that's somehow how he ended up getting not only his super intellect, but his super strength, endurance, and whatnot. It's like everything is locked into one another, and that's how he's came up. So not only is he, beefcake apparently to the women, but he's also very, he's clearly very smart. Even though he's dealing with technology, he doesn't necessarily know right off the bat. He's quick at picking it up, and knowing what goes where, and he's one of the individuals that has kind of a working knowledge of what it is you guys are trying to target. Obviously, he can't do anything about it, but if he would, but if need be, and you guys were short staffed, he could probably help piece it together.
Yeah, Sean would be on his team.
Yeah, and if he's demonstrably intelligent, then that Carmen would give him a second glance after all.
Gotcha. So he falls into the HAWT category.
Hot.
Yeah.
Has a witty. Dang it. What's a mental faculty that starts with T?
That's okay. You can be like Becca from Pitch Perfect 2.
Tenacious.
Titillating.
In Pitch Perfect 2, they run across this German a cappella group that is like all that in a bag of chips, and are very, it's Das Sound Machine or something like that's what they call themselves. And what the female lead of the group is like Amazonian in stature and fit and great looking and whatnot, and they're looking down their nose at the pitch, the Pitch Perfect, the Bellas. And Becca's character comes out after she gets insulted, and she's like, well, you just have flawless skin. Why can't I insult her?
Hey, can we say that for my lost week that I had spent, I'm just looking to see if I could get 2 rolls to see if about my phasing ability and like trying to have it work more again.
Yeah, I can tell you your phasing ability right now has not changed.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
But he's been trying real hard.
What's that?
But he's been trying real hard.
But he has been trying really hard, yes.
Okay, well, if they're working on the stuff and we're in the room, then I would be surveying to like try and determine at what point in the process they are and see where I can jump in.
Okay. Why don't you give me a reason check then?
Okay. Oh, I need a character sheet.
That helps too.
Word.
Brady may not understand the metaphysics, but he will help out where he can, lifting things and helping out with any genealogical things that might come up.
Yeah, nothing genealogical
occasionally he
coming
actually-
across, but noted.
And occasionally he does try to, over the course of this week that we've been, he will try to figure out where other commonalities exist. He specifically avoids the subject of electrum.
Okay.
Genealogy.
I know, like, in character, it's not going to pull anything up, but he stays busy because if not, he's going to want to scorch earth this place.
I'm thinking that probably only Brittany might recognize that song.
You recognize
My
that?
genealogy. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yellow feet.
My own grandpa.
Nice.
Oh. No, that's not part of that song.
Yeah. All right, so Lightbringer, as you are kind of going over it, right now they are working on this. Physically, they're working on the skeletal pieces,
Right.
from shared metal and scrap that they're bringing across. They are also attempting to work on piecing together what, in essence, is going to be the conduit that is tied directly to Shone. Which is the the cross-dimensional temporal key.
Okay. I will jump in wherever it seems feasible for me to jump in.
Okay, sure. So you are in the process of scaling that and putting that together with reinforced wiring and trying to test that as much as you can, stress testing, wiring and metals and whatnot that you have to ensure that it's, again, all of this is hypothetical, but trying to put it up to as much of a stress test as you can without burning everything up, to try and give a reasonable proximity of what sort of power output Shown is going to need to put through.
Cool.
Well, they're all working on that since it seems like we're going through time here to build the thingy. Can Hyperion look through resources and tools to actually create that tool set to see if he can use that to like help along build the pieces that everyone else is putting together as well and all that jazz?
So the tool sets that you're looking for, are those the ones that you are attempting to make for yourself, or are you thinking of something else?
I figure that if like it'd be the tools that I'd be making for myself. I was wondering if those could also be tools that they're like essentially they would be like a set of omni tools that he could carry with them to do things like this in the field, because it seems like we keep running into this situation anyway where it's like, oh, if only could build a thing and I don't have my tool set from home. So it's like, so it could work towards upgrading himself when he needs to, and creating things like the portal.
Okay, so I will give
Swiss
you
Army knife.
I will give you this option. You are definitely going to have to use that with scrap, in essence, with that triggers that dimensional anomaly, energy that Black Mass has mentioned. That is going to pull from the scrap available that they are using to try and create this dimensional arch to get out of here.
Okay.
Which means, through trial and error, you're probably going to you would pull from available resources, which you can. It's just going to obviously make everything take longer.
Yeah, if that's the case, if it's gonna put like a significant damper, like would I be able to calculate whether that would be a good investment in time or not, ultimately, like given the rate at which we've been able to accumulate resources and everyone's been able to put the pieces together, could I determine if it would make sense to pull from that materials to make the tools so that maybe that using the tools would offset the length of time it would take to build the thing?
Why don't you give me a reason check? And don't you have a talent for like quantum something or other?
Talent for quantum physics.
That's what I thought. So bump your reason up by a column shift.
Nice. Okay, so that goes from amazing to
MN75. Monstrous.
Nice. 81 yellow feet.
Nice. Okay. So, in theory, it would obviously slow things down initially, and potentially speed things up. The one variable you can't add to it, which is probably the most harrowing, is you have no idea how much time you have left here.
Okay.
So that's really the gamble there. It's like, do you think you could put all this together and not detract as quickly as possible, but still have time before whatever may happen is going to happen, which could wreck everything and set everybody back?
We're all in position, and he's like, I'm almost done. Hold on.
I know, yeah.
One more second. No, yeah, so it's a good point. Yeah, and there are those other SPBs out there making things weird. Yeah, that's too risky. Okay, so he's going to hold off on pulling those resources to make a tools, but instead he's obviously going to be supervising because he made the blueprint,
Right.
so he's going to make sure everything's working.
100%.
So can
while
Sean?
one second, while you're doing that, then give me another with the same column shift. Give me another reason check as you are supervising and helping to put this together.
6 red feet.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Oh, happy time.
So between you and Lightbringer, because Lightbringer is jumping in with some base work initially, and the supervising that you're doing, and the skeletal construction that they're piecing together initially, your red feet, you believe you've nailed the approximate size everything needs to be, as well as the amount of power it's going to take to power this, or that'll need to be maintained. And if everything remains steady, you think you've probably shaved several hours worth of construction time off.
Nice. Okay.
One second. Go ahead and chat.
What are we supposed to say?
Yeah.
I'm my own grandpa.
I guess Hyperion will mention if anybody's like near him when he's dealing with stuff that we are like several hours ahead of schedule in completion of the interdimensional portal. So he's trying to give, like, you'll be hearing him like give compliments to people who are putting things together, even everyone who's like just bringing in materials, just like transporting the big heavy stuff. It's like everything is coming together. We're doing great, everybody. Keep it up.
Carmen is focused, but also a little bit stewing.
Stewing?
Yeah.
Why is she stewing?
Well, if we're coming back, then she's got some things to think about.
Was Grandpapa actually an interdimensional traveler as well?
No, more along the lines of what's he going to think about all of this, and is he going to want to meet Billy, and is he going to be able to meet Billy, and is she going to be able to meet him anyway, and all of that stuff.
All of the above.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although Freddy now has a proper objective. Find Electrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got some splaining to do.
It's going to be a proper broken record now. Not the halfway, okay, whatever. Electrum is a deadbeat dad. No. He is not mentioning it right now because getting out of being digested is the more important thing.
Yeah. There you go.
So is Sean able to help speed things up by teleporting pieces that they need from wherever it's at to back to their secret hiding place?
No, because that is accommodated by the teleportation diamonds that Grace is using.
Okay.
Plus, the key thing there is your teleport is you going from point A to point B. The diamonds are actually portals that are opened up, and if they're closed, then in essence you can't track that per se, not as readily as yours.
I gotta learn that.
Yours is different, so.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess she'll just follow around Beefcake.
But in the meantime, that's what a lot of you have been doing, running odd jobs, and when not attempting to do like power stunts, which you guys could be doing that if there's any rolls you need to make,
Oh, yeah.
or studying, or maybe just trying to zone out and de-stress from everything that's kind of happened, because you guys have had a lot dumped on you.
Whenever he gets a chance, he's training.
Okay. So then let's take a moment real quick. Does anybody have power stunts that they're working on and need to make a roll?
Yes.
Yes, but I don't know how. I was going to say I don't know how logistically it would make sense for me to test this.
What are you testing?
Precognition.
Wow. So you're attempting to become a seer, huh?
Well, I mean, Grandpa started it.
Kind of enhancing your danger sense, more or less. Yeah. Okay.
I know how to test this.
My brother's like,
I got a hit. Can you dodge this?
That's probably the conspiracy theorist saying, I know how to test this, is probably not what you want to hear.
You begin by flipping a coin 10 times and predicting where it lands 10 times.
Oh,
Once you get a
this is a
coin
lot more
down, you
subtle
move
than
up
I was
to.
I like it.
Once you get the coin down, you move up to a dice.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Do the same thing. You roll it 10 times, and you try to picture the future or whatever.
Cool.
However, your precognition works.
Okay, so then with that being said, we'll start with Brittany. You need to spend 100 karma just to attempt it.
I've got a red result once.
You've already rolled red result for it?
Yeah, once when I was training with Grandpa.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't even be on my radar.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
So, okay.
So go ahead and roll again then.
You need 3
Just
yellow.
psyche.
No, it's this would be based on your power rank, because that's what you're attempting to do the power stunt with.
Oh, with the danger sense?
Yes.
Okay. White.
Okay, so negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. So then, Justin, you were attempting to work on something?
No, he's just training. It's not my turn in the rotation.
Training in general. Okay.
Yeah, because I want to develop magical detection.
Oh,
So
I can tell you that is not a power stunt you'll be able to work on.
Yeah,
You're going to have to receive arcane training for that.
Yeah, so most of the stuff I want to do right now, I don't think I can do.
Okay, fair enough. But thankfully now you have somebody in the team when he comes back who might be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
Sean, I know you have a power stunt you're trying.
I got a white feet.
Okay. Apparently everybody's super distracted. Derek, did you have one?
It's Beefcake's fault.
The only thing that I've been trying to do was my phasing ability.
Right, to get your facing back. Okay.
But other than that, I guess, is there anybody here that knows
Kung Fu.
computers or robotics?
Hyperion.
Computers.
And
Other than of who we've met, is anybody like nanotech inclined?
Not to that level, no.
Oh, dang.
Does Billy have nanotech?
That is a great question to ask him when he comes back.
Okay.
There would be some integration there because we don't have it in our world as effective, I would assume, correct?
Correct.
So that might actually be the kicker there to help me jumpstart it. But anyway, other than that, I guess I'm just kind of marveling at everybody else.
Okay.
So helping out where I can, because not my forte.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are other SBBs that are in that category, like Thor, for example. Thor is probably one of the most powerful individuals here, but he can pretty much do nothing to help with this.
He can carry heavy things.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he can do that, right.
What about extra dimensional detection?
What about it?
What? Yeah, I was going to say, what about it? Are you asking for power stunt, or what do you?
Could that be something I could work on now that we? Well, I don't think it'd help out long term.
What power? What power is that power stunt based off of?
Well, just traveling through dimensions, getting
Nope.
shunted from one place to another.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Other than
Power. Remember, power
Hey, there's
stunts
a door.
power stunts are based directly off of your powers. If
Yeah.
you're attempting to buy a new power, it should probably be still tied to something that you've already done, or there should be a logical reason in character that you've developed this power. So, for example, Spider-Man actually develops a mutation that allows him to shoot webs instead of making the webs from his, technological web spinners.
All right.
Okay, so with that being said, then another day ends up passing. Kind of the same thing. You guys are still working collectively, attempting to get things get things together and whatnot. Black Mass calls for Hyperion to come to the ready room that they have kind of. I mean, it was a ready room for military purposes, but right now it's kind of a utility room where people just use it for a conference. There's also some plans and junk scattered about from people working on things at odd times.
Yeah, Hyperion goes ahead and joins Black Mass.
So he pulls you in, and of course, if anybody needs to know what Black Mass looks like, for those of you watching, he is the bald, gray-skin, a very dapper-looking individual rotating in the pictures. So he will come up if my players need to see him. Obviously, that same picture is posted in the chat.
Cross between Colossus and Kingpin.
Visually, kinda, but not
Right.
not bulbous like. Because Kingpin was always more, initially when he was drawn, was sumo looking.
Yeah.
He's much more Colossus looking, like, built with, abs almost on the level of Colin.
Would you say he's built different?
He built different.
Can he
But anyways.
crack an egg with his bicep?
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, he could, yes.
Oh, I see. You're right.
Colin can do it with his pecs.
So he's like Terry Crews from the Old Spice commercials.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So anyway, so Hyperion steps in and he says, Hyperion, I'm glad you have a moment. I've detected something curious. And he pulls out, and they're using what appears to be like tractor feed paper to print up stuff, because it's what's here. And it's on dot matrix, obviously, like printing. So it looks terrible. But it's what looks to be like, it would almost look like a weather map the way it's kind of laid out. And of course, the dot matrix get kind of heavy in certain areas and globs, looking almost like, cumulus formation of clouds and whatnot. And he says, this area right here, he says, this is a part of this is a part of Fredonia. He says, I don't know if you have Fredonia where you come from, but it's closely analogous to the United States. He says this here is, but specifically he says this is in Cuba, and we're detecting an energy signature that resonates very similar to the ones that your friends resonate. Although it doesn't appear to be moving, it seems to be static. We think that there may be some parts or pieces or something that have come through.
I see. We'll need to take a look right away if at all possible. Anything from our dimension could be that much more valuable to what we're doing.
That is what I was hoping you'd say. I don't know much about where it is that you've come from, other than what little you've told us, that it's 1994. But is there any super technology or what is it? Is it similar to this Earth? What does the technological levels look like?
On the whole, for our level of technology, it is similar to what you generally see. However, there are pockets of super technology in different countries that have super scientists who can develop something that's theoretically decades more advanced, at least, than what you would normally see.
That's promising. And he says he pulls out, he ends up pulling out another print feed and lays it down. It's a series of numbers and equations. And when you first look at it, you know immediately it's a quantum signature. Then he says, does this make any sense to you? This is essentially what we're reading.
Does. Matches. So as far as the quantum signature goes, Jerome, would that indicate to me that it's definitely from our dimension or something specific from our dimension that's important?
Well, it would tell you it's a quantum signature. So if he's saying that dimensional energies are close to you guys and you're registering a quantum, you can identify this as a quantum signature. This may be from one of those pockets you were referring to.
Okay. So then looking at that, Hyperion goes, this is a very particular quantum signature. It could actually relate to a specific degree of technology that we have. This could be extremely helpful. We should capitalize on this as soon as possible.
Then, if you don't mind, can you have your team assembled in the transport room in about 5 minutes? So I would like to send your group, since you were despite the risk, you're most likely to be most familiar with whatever it is we're dealing with. And I will, for additional protection, I'll send Thor through with you.
Excellent. We'll get on it. We'll be back as soon as possible, and we'll make sure to communicate here. So as far as us being here, would we be able to have clear communication, like from the base to wherever we're going? Do I know if it would have
You've got enough of that, yeah, because it's going off of radio frequencies at this point.
Okay. Excellent. We'll assemble in the transport room, as you mentioned. Leave in 5 minutes. And then he turns and starts heading towards there, and then he goes ahead and goes, Hyperion to the Legacy. All members, please meet me in the transportation room in 5 minutes. We'll all be transporting along with Thor on a mission to a particular site with a quantum signature that matches technology from our reality. It's imperative that we gather as much as we can, assuming that it's something that's valuable.
On my way.
Something that got pulled in like we did?
Exactly. The different energy signatures that keep cropping up seem to correspond with temporary harmonizations with other quantum realities. This seems to be yet another one, and a particular quantum signature that comes from it is something that I've seen some technology in our world does generate it. And the overall signature of the site seems to match the prime reality as well. We don't know how long it lasts, of course, but we need to see what we can. Thor, again, will be coming along to assist us.
It's not a person, is it?
Hard to say. With the scanning technology equipped here at the base, all we have is the particular signatures. It's not as if we have the technology from the vein or elsewhere. Hence, another reason why we need to go to investigate directly.
Okay.
What do I get if it's Dr. October?
A nice pat on the back, and you get to say that you told us so.
I'll hold you to that.
Maybe it's Brad.
We should be so lucky. Okay, well, I'll head up there.
Okay, so the transportation room essentially is just a section. It's a sectioned off portion of what was the CIC of the base. They've walked you past this before. It's got a bunch of old like computer bays and whatnot that they're not really using. With obviously several large screens, which they do actually use, that help monitor transmissions and traffic, around the world. But they've set up kind of a platform in here that clearly wasn't a part of the military base initially, where this is kind of where they typically have Grace open up a teleportation diamond and individuals would step through and whatnot. Thor comes striding up, with Mjolnir in hand, at his side, almost looking disgusted, like he's put out, that he's having to run errands, because there's nobody decent to fight, sort of thing. He's clearly spoiling to get some anger management courses in physically.
Cheer up, Thor. There might be something there to smash.
Let us hope there is. I long for a fight.
Thor smash.
And so he's, Grace ends up opening this brackish looking teleportation diamond that's rimmed in kind of a white energy and a pulsating black and white coloration in the middle. As all of you step through, and you are in sunny Havana. Looks pretty similar to what you guys are used to. It's most of the buildings here, it looks like it probably stopped aging somewhere around maybe the 1960s, but it does not look derelict at all. It looks pretty clean. And at first, and when you guys step through, like people kind of look over at you for a second and they just keep doing their thing or buying whatever it is that they're buying, or a car occasionally drives by. You do note that there is what appears to be, there is the Fredonian flag in certain places, which looks oddly enough a lot like the United States. So it looks like whatever generated this dimension that you're in, or maybe if it copied or whatnot, maybe it mimicked an area or perhaps a period or a dimension in which the United States took Cuba.
Okay.
These guys are everywhere.
So does
hard
that
to
mean not to use our powers?
Whenever we're around the others, we need to act in a clandestine manner. Don't use powers unless necessary.
And right as you say that, Thor picks somebody up, like just, picks them up right by the clothes and just says, "You there! Show us where this wreckage is at." He's just like, "What did it? Huh?"
Thor, down. Please.
Bah! He just drops the person. And he's like, stops. He's like, "Hey, bub, take a chill pill, man." And he's like, kind of keeps on walking, and he looks like he was about ready to scowl and do damage at the individual, but he, pauses for a second, then just kind of lets him go, and then you hear a staticky transmission come through at this point from Black Mass. And he says, "You're within 1 mile of that signal. If you are where I think you are and you're in Havana, if this came through, it probably is a wreckage site. So you may want to look for something that stands out, like a wrecked building or damage in a road or something of that nature."
Which direction?
We cannot pinpoint.
Understood. We'll perform reconnaissance right away. And then Hyperion will sub-vocalize so that the legacy at least hears. It says, "I'm going to generate a copy high in the air for a bird's eye view to see if the wreckage can be seen. Give us a direction. If anyone appears to look upwards, notify me immediately because I'll be focusing through the copy.
Should I cloak it for you?
If you can, yes, it will be directly above us. You should be able to see if you're looking for it. Also, Lightbringer, if you are able to keep your senses open for empathy, if you sense any hostility from the surrounding beings, inform us immediately.
I can try that. Can I do both at the same time, Jerome?
You can certainly attempt it.
Okay.
And so then Hyperion will go ahead and generate a copy like a few hundred feet in the air just to see if he can see from that level first.
Okay. So Lightbringer, you were attempting to hide him, and what else?
Just cast an empathy.
Okay. Give me a psyche check just to ensure that you're able to multitask like that.
That is a no. I'm gonna use my reroll.
Okay.
Green.
Nice.
Okay. So it is a strain. You will not be able to tune in to anything around you specifically for this brief moment. Like if somebody came up and slapped you, you're going to be prone for it.
Okay.
But yes, you're able to focus for a second and continue to focus and make his copies invisible as you then cast your thoughts out around to scope and look for any potential rise in anger or spike in emotion.
Okay.
So now I want you to give me a psyche check for your for the accuracy of your, what is it? Empathy? There we go. Yeah, for empathy.
Am I rolling psyche for that again?
Yes.
Okay.
Psyche is for accuracy. Your power rank for that would be your range.
Okay.
And intensity, obviously, if somebody was attempting to
no,
shield
what-
themselves.
Okay.
Nice.
So you kind of cast out, and you literally almost feel like, and it helps you kind of stay focused, almost as if you kind of pinged like a radar would, and like sonar, and just bing, and mentally you're picking up. You're getting a little used to it, in a sense that you're picking up what are essentially the quote unquote antibody individuals. You're like, okay. You're picking all of that up, and it's like a lot of background noise, but you don't pick up initially a huge spike, but then just at the edge of your radius, you pick up a couple. Not anger, but you detect malice.
Someone's angry.
Do you have a direction and a distance?
I'm gonna point in the direction and say it's just on my edges.
So Hyperion will shift to his senses to see where she points, and then shift back to his copy senses to use that bird's eye view to look in that direction if there's anything physically obvious as far as what that danger is.
Okay. So real quick, as you are, how many copies have you sent out?
I'll send out I can send it a bunch. I'll put up 5, and they're all close together, so that's easy for her to kind of cloak them. And
so
they're all
with the
looking in
5,
different
give me a psyche check to maintain control over them all.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
White feet on the psyche check.
Oh.
Syntax error.
You don't have a reroll?
No, that's Justin.
Dale, you don't have a reroll?
Do I have a reroll? I do, but the thing is, it's my psyche's only good, so I'm not sure how useful a reroll is going to be.
You could use a reroll and spend some karma.
It's true. What I need to do to ensure that? Let's see.
You
Here.
decide it's that important.
If I mean, so this is to see if I can like accurately look through the 5 different.
Just controlling
copies.
5 different at once. Yeah.
If this failed, could I just kind of rapidly shift to just one copy just to make it easier?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do the reroll, but not spend extra karma. That way we have that for everyone else. Something more important.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thing.
1 point more, still a white feet. So
Okay. So your silenced and stealth version, quantum version of you goes flying off in a direction. Essentially, you're sending that one copy over to where the threat potentially is at. A couple miles out, you're flying over the town. You're getting a good bird's eye view of the, heading east. And you're going over and you're looking, and you're looking again. Most of the town, the city, looks very similar to what you would think it would look like. Again, with the exception of the fact that, even though it looks old, it's not like run down, slummy, a bunch of worn paint sort of thing. And when you get to the beaches, you get to an actual resort, which there's a couple of them lined up. There's people wandering around, which is, mental note, kind of weird knowing that everything is on autopilot. So it's like you see kind of generic people on autopilot at a resort, which makes you think it looks and feels kind of like a video game at this point. Like they're just NPCs just there in place doing kind of nothing, having nonsensical conversations that don't really seem to, have a whole lot to it. But you do end up seeing a woman who is in a black bikini. It stands out because she doesn't look a thing like the other individuals. Very long black hair. She and she has some sunglasses on, and is kind of like looking around and at what's going on, looking a little bored. And some of the individuals that are near her look reptilian. Now, I don't mean as in like full on like lizard like, but reptilian as in like kind of human, but more like a reptilian alien kind of thing. Not like just what you would expect a furry to look like that dressed as a reptile. And they're actually in armor. They have what appear to be some high-tech sidearms of some kind. One of which has a staff that he's just kind of leaning on and looking. They look almost as bored as she is at this point. And she like turns and she looks to them and she says, "Are you sensing what I'm sensing?" And they're like looking around. They're like, "Something feels off, ma'am." And she's like, "Yeah, something doesn't feel quite right. Like a lot of these guys here are on autopilot, but something new is around here." And she gets up and throws on some sandals and starts like walking west away from the lounging chair that she was in on the beach. And just randomly, one of the reptilian looking guys in kind of whitish armor, he ends up taking his staff and jamming it into one of the individuals who were walking by, and like just disintegrates it, just with a cracking sound of energy. And she like turns and looks and she says, "Was that absolutely necessary?" And he says, "Sorry, ma'am, had to do it." And she says, "Oh, very well." And she kind of like walks around, throws a sarong around her waist, and at this point she kind of looks around and starts looking towards the direction where in the direction. Obviously, there's a bunch of buildings and everything. You can't see one another direct line of sight. And she says, "There's something coming from that way."
Okay. And there, she is pointing towards us,
Yes.
effectively.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. How many of these reptile alien goons does she have with her?
She's
They're
got 5.
scalies.
She's
They're
got
like
5. Yes.
furries, but since they have scales, they're scalies.
Yeah. Okay. And all of them are wearing armor and have advanced weapons, but she's not wearing armor. Does she
Correct.
have any weapons on her that I can see?
No, she is not. She is in a black bikini with a sarong and sandals.
How did the other pseudo people react to the destruction of that one person just then?
Not terribly bad initially, but there's some cause for alarm. Like there's like, oh my goodness, did you see what just happened?
Okay.
And even though like the guy is like deteriorating into like particles and granular, like one of them runs up and tries to do CPR. It looks really awkward.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Do the emotions change while I'm?
They're starting to, yes.
Okay, so the hive mind is starting to react.
Correct.
Okay. I'll say, but the rest of us didn't see any of this.
That is correct.
Right. Yeah, I haven't relayed it yet.
I'll say, whatever's happening, they're starting to notice.
And then Hyperion on the ground will say, I think Holocaust and her goons are actually here. They seem to notice our presence, but don't know it's actually us. They know a direction. They're fine with immediately destroying these beings, and they have weapons that can do it. There's one of her and 5 reptilian, somewhat alien beings wearing armor with advanced weaponry. They're probably on their way. We need to act quickly.
And so Thor at this point readies Mjolnir, and he says, Holocaust, my old foe, and demons from oblivion, have at thee! And he takes up into the air.
Should I go with the goon?
Yes, do so immediately.
Rocketing with him.
Okay. And of course, there's like gasps, but kind of generic gasps as, as action is starting to happen at this street corner.
Do we have direction of where the signature we're tracking? Do we have the location?
So Jerome, was during that search, was I able to find the wreckage from up above, or no?
Well, you were able to relay back what you just saw, and now you're going to have to search. So
Okay.
If you give me an intuition search, you can send your quantum body around to go see if you can find it.
Okay. Intuition. 2 green feet.
Okay.
Woohoo!
So as you are flying up and around, it's west of the position that you are at. It is off in a neighborhood, and you can actually see it kind of similar to when you guys appeared here. It's almost as if whatever crosses over is literally kind of dumped somehow, so it falls from a degree of height. And so you can see that it looks like there was perhaps some condos that took some damage.
Okay. And how far from us, if we were to run there starting now, how long would it take us to get there?
It's within a mile, so however long it takes you to run.
Okay.
For us,
Then-
probably 5 to 7 minutes.
Then I'd say I'd go ahead then and I'll, of course, memorize where this is and deactivate the copy, and then I'll turn to Shone and say, can you teleport the rest of us approximately a mile in that direction? That's where the wreckage is.
I could, but I have nothing to reference off of.
You can teleport us to the top of a building, and then we can building hop until we get to the location. I've memorized where it is.
Okay, so show me which building.
And it'll point to, like, the layout. Is it like a bunch of just, like, maybe maximum 2 to 3 story buildings? Or okay.
That is correct.
So he'll point to one that's kind of like just down the street, just that's close by, and you can see directly to start off as like a first jumping point. I'll point to that and just say, we'll use that as a start off point to make it easier for you to see further.
Okay, so she will attempt to teleport them.
Can I do an illusion of us like walking into an alley so that we don't just like blammo?
Vamp.
I don't know. Can you?
May I?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and let it rip.
The
Just
worst
need a green
villain,
result.
grammar Nazi.
I know.
I always hated that when my dad would do that to me.
3.
All right. So that's
Yay.
as soon as Shone teleports you guys off, you put like in your place, like you make a visual of you guys walking down an alley away from the people. Yeah, without any sort of problems. You don't hold it for very long, do you?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Just so
Okay.
that we're out of sight.
Sure. So Thor and Angler. So you guys are taking off up to there. He's obviously got you beat by a little bit of a clip because he took off first. And he just ends up going like right when you guys start clearing the buildings and getting near the I'm getting ready to say desert, the beach. It has sand. He ends up taking like a hard nosedive, and there's this big explosion, dirt and sand and lawn chairs and beach umbrellas, go flying up, into the air, and there's pandemonium already. And as you come flying up, you need to roll for initiative.
Subtle.
That's his middle name.
Why did they send Thor with us?
Muscle.
5, sir.
Okay.
5 alive.
And as we're doing the teleporting, Hyperion would relay back to base Holocaust's presence and that Thor and Angler are in pursuit while the rest of us are headed towards the wreckage.
So Black Mass relays back. Understood. We'll keep a teleport. We'll keep Grace on hand for another teleportation diamond once you are able to recover whatever is there. Then he relays. Well, as Angler's walking away into the darkness, I can't see him. Of course, he couldn't hear me either because he took down the headset.
Yeah.
That was funny. You like totally totally disappeared into the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just telling him I was about to cast magic missile.
Well,
So no,
the room is as black as my soul, as I would probably say when I was a teenager.
No, what I was going to say is that Black Mass relays. I mean, you guys all hear it, but he relays to Angler. He says you don't need to take her down. Just keep her occupied long enough for for your team to recover.
Heard.
And Thor is like, blast it all, as he's clearly engaged pretty hardcore with Holocaust. So they are striking first. So as you get in the area, you actually, even though they're going first or before you, Thor's impact obviously caused the minions and whatnot to have to recover, so they're not in a position really to attack just yet. But he and Holocaust, like, even despite the fact that she looks like, I will note, Holocaust looks fine. Like, she looks like she stepped off the model of Sports Illustrated or something and just said, I want evil, give me all the powers. So she doesn't look like she she has any. She's your typical supervillain in the sense that she looks like a supermodel but doesn't look like she has any of those powers. But her and Thor are going toe to toe. Like, he at one point, like, as soon as he crashed down and you come flying up, he pulled her up by the hair, took Mjolnir and smashed her like directly in the face with it. And she's still standing, and she ends up kicking him like right in the crotch. He's like kaboom, and he buckles over.
Ramming speed.
Oh, so you're going to just fly right into him as well?
I'm gonna crash into her from the back.
Okay, so
okay, let me rephrase. Nope, there's no way to rephrase this. Rocket power physics into her back.
Yeah. Angler once again messes up his words and attempts to Oreo cookie with Thor and Holocaust.
Well,
so what's your fighting?
My fighting is abysmal.
Okay.
No, it's an excellent.
Okay, so it's going to take you around at this point to basically turn to hard bank and ramming speed from behind. So we will get to you next round. So those of you who are hopping, Sean, why don't you give me you're doing it by sight, but hopping. Give me intuition. Give me an intuition check.
Okay.
To make your multiple hops over there.
Ooh,
Booyah.
repeat.
Nice.
Oh,
97.
nice. So you're able to get up there. You're able to get up there on the roof because initially getting up there was not a problem. You were able to see exactly where he's pointed. So you went bamf, bamf, got up top, and then shot the rest of the way there in one teleport. So you end up getting to the top of this condominium. And this, it's condos. So it's a small, like was 3 stories. 3-story condominium, like one third of it down the side, like something hit it and fell like right to the very base of it. Doesn't appear to be any fire. It does appear to be, the wreckage seemed to be recent. True to form, you see that there are obviously people around kind of looking at it, but rather than like emergency crews like showing up trying to help people or whatnot, there are just like some random janitors like sweeping things. Like just trying to like tend to it, and they're pulling up a garbage truck. Across the street from this condominium on either side are real small shopping centers. Like one's like a little carniceria, another one is like a clothing outlet and whatnot. So it looks, it looks again very civilian, very very casual looking. Although the response, obviously weird. What you can see are the remains, emphasis remains. It's about half here of one of the gunships from New Prussia.
Oh boy. Then Hyperion says, we need to reclaim as much of this as possible. New Prussian technology would quite possibly help us finish the rest of the build.
Hey, sis, can you throw another one of your illusions so I can portal us down there without really causing a scene?
Yeah.
Or just hide us, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Are there any people like really close to?
Oh yeah, like I said, they're
Okay,
literally
cleaning it up.
sweeping some of it up and putting it into like the garbage truck.
Okay. I wonder if we could distract them with something else so that they would go away.
Well, you can make something blow up over there.
Blow up for real or blow up for fake?
Lightbringer, why don't you give me an intuition check?
Because they're probably going to be angry if we try and.
Yeah, there's that.
Roll. Nope.
Okay. Noted.
Oblivious.
Derek, why don't you give me an intuition check?
Intuition. Yeller.
Okay.
95.
So, Xenofreeze, as you have been kind of observing everything going on, actually this kind of fits to your biological background a little bit, since you have been watching the things, they still respond in a manner very similar to like any of you. You know, if they see something wrong, they respond to it. So it stands to reason if they don't see anything wrong, they might be just dumb enough to stop.
They seem to be directly responding to outside stimulus. They see that there is a mess and they are cleaning it up. If they do not see the mess, they may be inclined to stop.
So we cloak the mess.
Yes.
I could try that.
Excellent.
Okay, this is rather big by comparison. So why don't you go, and obviously attempting to make the building look like it's fine. So give me a psyche check.
I vote to add in some of our karma.
Or
25
down.
points at least.
Yeah, we could do that. What's your psyche, Brittany?
Incredible. 40.
Incredible. So
Incredible.
if we wanted to guarantee a yellow result, we could spend 60. So if she rolls even a 1, that gives yellow.
Except
I'm okay with that.
If I rolled a 1, I think it counts as a 1.
No,
No?
that's why you spend karma.
Okay.
I'm okay with the amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're
Right,
spending
yeah.
karma, a 1 is only a 1 if you're not spending karma.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, we'll spend 60 karma on that and see if
Now
you
watch
can
her roll a
get
red.
a yellow result.
Yeah.
Or a red result.
So 77.
77. All right. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
it's
a red
yellow
result.
Okay.
Oh, is it 77 total, or did you roll 77?
77 total.
Total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so with that revelation, and I'll get
Probably
to the
yellow.
I'll get to the combat here in a second.
That's like the fourth white that I've had today.
Lightbringer kind of focuses for a second to collect her thoughts, and with ease mimic what she perceives the condominium to look like when it is fixed. And magically, you know, the wrecked vessel is no longer there. The people who are sweeping, you know, are, you see them kind of pause for a second and they start like looking around, and they kind of go, throws the dustpan and broom kind of like over their shoulders. They go walking over to the trash truck, and then a couple minutes they just kind of drive away, and the people who are there kind of watching are like, oh, that was fast. And they just kind of keep walking on by.
We have such efficient refuse service.
Right.
I'm just going to hold on to this while you guys do whatever you are going to do.
Do you want me to teleport us down there and then have Grace open her diamond thing?
Jerome, looking at the wreckage, does it look like we'd be able to bring it all in one go, or would we have to pull it into pieces to do that?
No, you're gonna have to pull it in pieces.
Okay.
The teleportation diamonds are a little bit bigger than human sized.
Okay. Then I'll tell Shone is teleport us down there so that we can get to work. And then Hyperion goes, Hyperion to base. Is it possible for us to borrow Ruby Red for her disintegration powers to break the wreckage down?
Affirmative. Give me a couple minutes and I'll have Ruby available.
Excellent.
Now, are you going to stay up here, sis, or you want me to take you down with us?
Can I see like the Jerome? Would I be I need to be able to see what I'm losing. Would being down there at the ship impede that?
No.
Okay.
No, from where you're
Okay.
at, because you're standing on top of a building, or if you're like at the site, you still have a direct line of sight from either angle to maintain that illusion.
Okay, well, Shone will put her hand out for them, and then she'll put her hand on her sister's shoulder and teleport.
Poof. Okay. So everybody is back down. You're at where this condominium is at. You can, you actually, and in fact, you end up seeing a person come walking into one of the rooms that she's made an illusion to, get like moving to open a window, and they just like fall down 2 stories, like right in front of you. And they like pick up and like look around, and they're like, oh, and then somebody comes running across the street to check to see if they're okay. And I mean, you could hear him. It's like, are you okay? And he's like, wow, I fell out a window. And he's like looking up, and he's like, huh, that kind of hurt. And and again, I mean, they seem like they're sort of concerned. Like, it's not like quite stupidity, but it's clearly like the program wasn't fully written either, so.
Right, yeah. Too many resources are being used.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're totally burnt out.
Yeah.
All right, so Angler. So at this point, you are circling around. You have the bead
right
on
back.
Holocaust as they are duking it out. The demon lizard thing with the stick fires on you as you are coming in. If you dodge, it could put you out of position to do it as you're wanting to do.
Nope. Not dodging.
If you want to attempt a barrel roll to get out of the way, you can, but your agility will be down by 1 column shift.
I'll take the barrel roll.
Okay.
Don't run into his stick.
All right.
He disintegrates and ends up back on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, you hear Kenny Loggins' Highway to the Danger Zone start playing. Da 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 da. He does a hard barrel roll, trying to keep going forward.
Nice.
All right, go ahead and roll your agility.
Green feet.
Nice. Okay, so Eagle sticks out that stick away as you see a discharge of energy come off that, and you do a bank and barrel, and it comes like right past your rocketing barrier, and you literally roll right around the beam and narrowly avoid getting struck. Still moving full speed at the Holocaust, who is tied up with 4. The other aliens are firing on you, also to no avail, because you're barrel rolling. Because I was inverted.
That sounded painful.
That's another Top Gun reference. Go ahead and roll your attack at this point, since I know you're going to ram her. Ramming speed.
That's my the ability, right?
No, it's
Is
not.
it-
It's not based off your ability. If you are attempting to run yourself right into her, this is going. We're going to say it's actually an agility check, because you're turning yourself into a projectile. No column.
Nope.
No column shift down for that. What'd you get?
Oh, no column shift for that one?
No.
Okay.
Still no. Still white feet.
What a bummer. Okay.
Ouch.
Dang it.
So you did absolutely fantastic barrel rolling and getting out of the way of that gunfire. But your rocketing is loud. You probably tipped off Holocaust, so she quickly ducks and you ram straight into Thor. What is your endurance?
That's going to be 2 column shifts. I'm out of the
Bless
water.
you.
Bless you.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay. So that was quite the loud thunderstruck as you basically ram into him with 50 tons of pressure.
Ouch.
And you and Thor go flying off and ram into a building at this point. As you start to see some of the citizens around you start to shake and waver, almost like almost like somebody would imagine looking in the distance and you see the heat coming off of asphalt. And Thor, of course, is cursing like crazy because you've rammed into him. Blast you, fool!
You should have gotten out of the way.
And so with that, he grabs you by the leg, and he proceeds to turn you into a weapon, and swings you
Special.
at Holocaust. So Holocaust was not expecting that.
Special.
Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't throw him. He's not that cool. He only
Louisville
throws.
Slugger.
He only throws Mjolnir. Yeah, he basically
Oh.
turned Angler into a weapon. So Angler, what is your rocket power?
Oh, rocket power is remarkable.
Okay, remarkable. All right, so you with that impact take a total of 75 points of damage, but you need to subtract your rocket first, because your rocket also acts as shielding, which is 30. So 30 off that, and then the remaining goes to what you have for armor. Anything past the armor is what you actually take.
So 35 damage.
Yeah, so not okay, so that not terribly bad. So
Wait, you said 70?
75, so 30
So
off of
75.
that. And
Makes
what do you have for
45.
what do you have for armor?
10.
I thought I just had the 10.
You don't have any shielding?
Yeah, he's got shielding. So you have 10 for the uniforms, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that
Oh, that's what. Okay, that's the
yeah,
shielding.
so okay, so you turn into this crackling, energetic club as he whips you into with authority into Holocaust. She tried to like throw up her arm at this point, but she ends up getting buckled into the sand as you slap into her like a rocket powered fly swatter, just like a crack. And he releases you after that. So that was the combat. Next round, she is getting up. She attempts to kick you with authority, much like a place kicker in the NFL. She's attacking first. You can attempt to block or dodge, whichever you think is better.
What about using martial arts A to basically judo that leg kick into slamming her into the ground?
That would be for your that would be on your action for fighting.
So how would I have to block or would I have to dodge this?
No, I mean you can still attempt to dodge it.
Okay.
Judo is you grabbing. So I mean, if you grab and slam, I mean you can still do that. Blocking, however, would probably keep you in position rather than trying to duck or dodge out of the way of it. But really, it comes down to what you want to roll that you think is going to be better. If fighting is your better stat, then you're probably going to try and block it. If agility is your better stat, you're probably going to want to dodge it.
The agility is only slightly better.
Okay.
Yellow feet.
Nice. Okay. So she kicks. A lot of sand comes up, which probably would have doubled the problem. But that's all she gets. Sand. Two of the aliens fire on you. You got a yellow result for your agility. Ooh, no joy there. And you get shot with one of the blasters. However, it does a total of 30 points of damage, which you see your rocket buckle, like the sheath that you have from rocket, but it does not penetrate.
Nice.
Do we see this going on?
No, you do not.
Oh, okay.
We'd have to look through the buildings in the city to see it.
Yep. He's like 2 or so miles away from you guys. Actually, from where you're at now, he's more like 3 miles away at the beach.
Can we hear any of this?
The 2 impacts where I should say, the two impacts, the one from Thor and one from Angler, yes. And then the fly swatter move, you heard that as well.
Is Carmen able to still have her empathy up?
I don't think I can take it that far.
She's focusing on the illusion right now.
I don't know. Would Carmen like to attempt to do both?
No.
Okay. Let me put the smart beanie cap on Carmen right now.
Yeah.
And anytime you press the button on there, it just tells you wise choice.
Based on how many white results I've rolled today, I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah.
And my
grasshopper.
My empathy's only 10, so it's not. It doesn't have a great range.
Yeah, it doesn't have a great range.
Gotcha.
At Brittany,
Come and get me and
roll
take
the
me
white
to the
feet.
hospital.
At Brittany, roll the white feet. At Brittany, roll the
All right, so Angler.
I want to call this the rock and roll.
Okay.
I'm going to basically catch her leg and roll her over and slam her into the ground.
Oh, that's an actual maneuver. I want to say it's
Martial arts A.
No. I mean like a wrestling move. I want to say it's like a dragon corkscrew.
Oh. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about, I hope you like your day at the beach. Here's some sand. Bam!
I know exactly. Yeah, hang on 1 second. I'm looking it up right now. Boop. Don't need that. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with this guy in the video? This guy, okay, I'll post this link here to you guys in the chat. This guy's got the weirdest head. But I'm looking at it real quick. I'm looking at this because I'm almost positive what you just did is exactly what I'm explaining. And it let me see. Does he lift up the leg? He does. Okay. So basic. Yep. Okay. There you go.
Yes, that is it.
So
except for with a rocket boosted throw.
Okay. That's what I thought I had that visually correct. So yes. Okay, so go ahead and make your fighting check.
I would like to borrow 30 karma for this.
I'm fine with that. You're going toe to toe with the main bad guys.
Angler angry. So this is going to be based. This is going to be off of your fighting. Up one column shift for martial arts A.
Oh, so I do not want to re-roll that because it's a 60. And with the
The-
30, that would put it at 90.
Ooh.
Ooh. So for those who are just watching the stream, the guy in the video, if you've seen that, there's that white kid that has he's really super skinny and has the really long neck. It's like if he worked out. That's what this dude looks like.
Gotcha.
So it's a yellow result.
Okay, so a yellow result. You said a 90?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the 30 karma.
All right, and you were also going for, that was a blunt attack. All right, so you were definitely getting your slam result. You make a roll.
Like slam.
Oh my. Okay.
I want to know, did I make her bounce off that sand?
Hold on one second.
I think she got sand where she didn't want sand.
Yeah, I think she got a very low endurance roll.
In between her toes.
He's calculating the
No, I'm actually going to take a picture real quick and send this to you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Okay, Baymax.
Oh
no. Okay, so here you guys go. That is what Holocaust rolled. So at this point, Angler, for all of the pent up anger, the conspiracy theories, the confusion, everything coalesced finally. Everything finally coalesced in one. And the sad thing is, there's no camera around. There's no news crew to record this, to take this home. But you at least got the memory of it. So she kicks up high. You duck down, get that dragon corkscrew on her, and then whoom, take her up and over. And you guys, when the impact connects, you guys trying to recover the wreck, which, by the way, Ruby is just now coming out through a teleportation diamond, and just as she comes out, you guys all feel the impact. And you're 3 miles away. You're all, whoa, what was that? And you guys hear a boom, and like sand get kicked way up into the air.
I hope Thor has the grace to tell this one around drinks at a table, even though he's not the one that did it.
Angler, are you okay? Is Thor okay?
We're okay. I will stand up and look over at her minions.
That's because you're in combat. That's all you get a chance to say is, "We're okay," because again, it's all happening like in time frame. So next round, so she is like in the ground and like seeing stars, like just totally, like just not there. She got hit really hard. You can start to see the people. Like the citizens of one and around you, they start turning into black shapes at this point. The impact that hit down kicked up so much sand that even though they've got kind of visors in their way, the other minion she's with kind of reel back a second so they can start capping off shots if they need to. And Thor ends up holding his hammer aloft. And ends up screaming, "Lay on!" And as he ends up throwing his hammer at the fallen Holocaust, you end up seeing the Mjolnir strike her, send her down the beach like a torpedo. And there's this, and right at that focal point when it first struck, lightning cracks down in a flash. And hits, it literally turns that impact area into glass.
Yikes!
And sends the other minions like flying about maybe 10 or 15 feet away from the lightning strike. She, of course, goes like sailing for like 50 yards down the beach and partly into the ocean at that point from the strike from Mjolnir. Back to all
Thor,
of
I
you.
think it's.
So we hear and probably see a lightning strike.
Yeah, whatever's
Another
happening
boom.
over there, gods are battling. I mean, that's the best way you can put it.
Yeah.
Are the denizens turning into black bodies where we are, or just where they are?
You can start seeing that the people that were chatting about the falling from the window and whatnot, they're talking and they're starting to look a little distracted and like their voices are slurring. It's like they're still trying to carry on whatever identity or whatever whatever they identified as the issue was, but they appear to be like shifting as they're doing it in a bizarre sort of way, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons when the spell was failing. But rather than comical, in a more horrific way.
Yeah.
Okay.
How close are we now to getting things like broken down since Ruby's arrived?
Well, we've been moving at seconds at this point with the combat. I'm assuming everybody is pitching in to try and well, Lightbringer, are you also pitching in to take down, or
No.
you do? Okay. So Shone, Xenofreeze, and Hyperion are pitching in to start, I guess, just chucking things through the diamond as they're freed up.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Why don't all of you give me give me some strength checks?
Could I do an? Well, we're trying not to use our powers, are we not?
At this point, you're cloaked, so it probably doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Unless it makes
Then,
noise or something.
then what I would want to do is make just an ice slide to the diamond, so that way we can just.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Okay.
Still need a strength check though.
Okay.
The ice slide, however, since you already know how to do an ice slide, that'll just help you send it through a little bit faster.
Right. Just makes it more efficient.
Yeah.
Strength.
Tank.
We cannot hear you, Shelly.
White feet for me.
Shelly got a red.
Nice.
Oh no, wait, no, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She got
a white.
as well.
I was looking at the wrong one. I needed to scroll down to the end. Sorry.
Not right now. You're muted.
Yeah, you
No,
muted.
you are muted. There
Okay.
you go.
And
No,
no, we still can't hear you.
Okay. Is it on your actual
Mike.
mic itself
Or
rather
headphones?
than the machine?
See if it's picking anything up.
Test it.
Hello.
Oh,
She's gone.
She's
Yeah.
coming back.
she teleported.
She teleported.
No.
Ooh. Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Nope, still can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
No, okay.
Okay, gravy. I got a white.
Yeah. So did
We
I.
all got white feet.
Wow. Okay.
I got white feet.
So at this point, she is starting to cut off. She is starting to cut pieces and get them down to manageable sizes. But you guys are struggling to get them through the diamond right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Angler at this point. So with the temporary lull in combat, are you retreating or are you going to follow up with Thor? Because Thor at this point looks like he's going to continue.
Thor, we should evacuate and get back to the base. She is probably out for at least a couple of minutes, and we should help with the site.
Why don't you roll your popularity?
With Thor.
This
I
is
mean,
this is
you
a rule
did
that
ram
never
him,
goes
but
well.
He's like, quiet, fly swatter.
There's not a like a
Ah!
Wow.
A yellow feet with a 95.
Okay, well, so
Nice.
you're his favorite fly swatter.
So he's about ready to, now that he's got Mjolnir back in his hands, and obviously the demons from Oblivion are stunned temporarily from that attack. He pauses and he says, as you say that to him, and he says, "There is wisdom in your words. Let us be off."
They said that they were traveling north, and he'll rocket up and head that way.
Okay, so he swings, grabs a hold of Mjolnir, and flies alongside you.
We're coming in. You said you were a mile north from our original position, correct?
Hyperion will give him like a correct bearing of where to head so that they can reach us.
Okay.
they're not going to be able to see inside the illusion.
Look for the condominium complex. It's going to look correct, but it's an illusion. Head close to us, and once they get close, Lightbringer, can you include them in the illusion?
Roger that.
Okay. So Lightbringer, Psyche check.
Oh boy.
Psycho check.
You know what? I'm going to use my keyboard for this. Maybe it will make a difference.
Okay.
I don't know. I keep getting white feet.
No,
Nope.
Do you have any rerolls?
I do not.
You could right now.
Okay, well, this is a good news, bad news situation, Angler. Good news is, even with that absolute vague description that Hyperion gave to you, you're able to find them because it's the only condominium that looks like it's like half wrecked. Bad news is, it's a condominium that looks half wrecked. And your friends are beside it, as Lightbringer was trying to multitask, and given the stress of everything going on, the illusion ends up collapsing, and at that point, you guys all start to see the people turning into black shapes around you.
With that, Hyperion
you
will
do have
say,
a reroll, Brit. Now you do.
Hyperion will say, Xenofreeze, make an ice barrier around us and give us some time.
Will do.
Okay, roll your agility. Spray that beautiful ice wall.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's never happened to me before. Sorry,
You said my agility?
Yes.
Okay. So
You're still going to be able to form the wall. This is just accuracy for targeting is all.
oh, okay. Green.
Green?
Gringo. Yep.
Good job. So,
Green go.
I mean, you didn't necessarily know where exactly to put it, but as soon as he kind of, mentioned it, you were already feeling it, like you realized there was already a problem. So,
Okay.
you threw up an ice wall. It's kind of tight fitting in here because you put it up hastily, but you got a barrier between you and those things.
Groovy.
How much of the ship is broken down at this point?
There's plenty of parts broken down, but they've been having a lot of difficulty trying to get them into the teleportation diamond.
Okay, well if they're doing that, I'm gonna fly down and. No wait, I'm already down there. I'm gonna start helping to move things.
Okay, give me strength checks at this point.
All of us?
Anybody attempting to move pieces of this ship in through the diamond.
Dang.
Green.
Come on.
What? Of
3
course.
feet.
Okay.
I think the dice roller is broken or cursed.
So me and Shelly got it green.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of us got whites.
Although
so let me get this straight. Hyperion being one of the strongest members of the team, you just got what? greasy fingers all of a sudden?
I guess. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All this
Of course.
multitasking, you know?
My normal dice are fine.
So, you guys are still struggling, but some of the pieces are starting to go through. It's taking clearly more time than you have to get them through. So Thor stays up in the air at this point, and he does another lightning strike, and basically several pillars of lightning strike down around the encumbrance area that you guys are at, striking
The ice wall.
striking some of the now black antibody-looking creatures.
Is it possible to get more people from the base to come out and help us?
You could request it. The reason why they don't just throw all the people out there is for defensive measures.
We need at least a couple more bodies.
We need time as well. Lightbringer, can you fly into the sky and assist Thor with blasting the black body beings?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Is attacking them going to help?
It will give us extra time, prevent them from breaching the barrier.
Okay. I will attempt to fly up there and start blasting.
Okay. Give me an intuition check. Well, you're about ready to say something, so say that first.
I was going to say this would be a good opportunity to try out that experiment that I didn't get to do on in the initial battle.
Don't worry about your intuition check.
To try changing the radiation or using my hard radiation control.
Sure. So you're going to take up to the skies and try that instead?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work. So those of you who are helping, go ahead and roll one more time. Strength checks as you are bringing things through. Ruby at this point has almost all of it disassembled.
There we go. Green feet for me.
I'm tired.
I have a 20 in fighting.
Why are you rolling fighting?
No, I'm
are
just
you
saying I
trying
have a
to
20
karate
in
chop the
fighting and
pieces?
an amazing in strength right now.
Okay.
But yeah,
And
he
a
got
20.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
okay.
Gotcha. I was going to
Yeah,
say, wait a
why-
minute. Why are you trying to fight the pieces?
He's fighting himself.
I know.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, stop hitting yourself. So who got a green result?
I did.
Okay.
Finally.
So thankfully, Hyperion, being stronger than most of all of you, grabs one of the larger pieces and slides that on down without any real issue.
Down the ice slide.
Lightbringer, are you attempting to do your hard control radiation magic?
Yes. That's a psyche, right?
It is, yes. Actually, no, sorry. This is because you are actually in the radiation, technically. This is just your power rank.
I like the other one better.
I'll let you use Psyche instead. That's fine.
I mean, whatever's there. Which one should I do?
Go ahead and use Psyche.
Okay.
I'll let you use that one.
Okay.
Are we very
dice-
white today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dice roller has it in for us.
I'm dreaming of a white feet miss.
All
Should I
right.
use-
Just like the
Use the
ones that
reroll?
Brittany likes to
So
roll.
this kind of, well, I mean, you can use your reroll if you'd like.
Guys, should I use my reroll?
Yes.
Yeah, because
And some karma if we have any.
I don't think we have any left, do we?
We do. We still have 210 available.
Oh.
What would you need? Do you have access to the chart?
Yeah, let's see.
What would you need to ensure like a yellow?
What do you have? What's yours is incredible?
40, yeah.
So you would need at least a 30 for a green and a 61 for a yellow. But you'd need at least a 31 for a green.
So if we want to make this good, then we do the spend 60 again so that we ensure a yellow result. We go with that, gang?
Yep.
Good.
All right, we'll add 60.
Okay. Let her rip.
She got
I'll get it to her,
111.
51. Okay, so 111.
So red result.
Yep.
Yes.
What
With
is
extra
beyond
credit.
red, my good sir?
Like
Purple.
lava hot red.
Yeah, exactly.
Purple.
Got a black result.
Yeah. It's the opposite of white.
And what is the power rank to your hard radiation?
Hard radiation control is EX20.
Okay. Ooh. All right. So what are you attempting to do with your control?
Okay, so based on my understanding of energy and particle physics. Oh, by the way, I have a column shift for that. Would that have applied?
No.
Okay. Well, based on my understanding of black body radiation, I would try to convert it to a different kind of radiation that is more benign.
So.
Or maybe even to UV radiation, which is my specialty.
Okay, so tell me what you'd like.
I will try to convert it to UV.
Okay. So as you focus intently at this point, kind of throwing up a Hail Mary because you've never done this before, reaching out with your mind and your ability to manipulate hard radiation, you end up seeing like 5 of those beams that, because they're all black body at this point and trying to converge on your location, immediately turn purple and just like it disappear in a flash.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay. I don't know that I could do it again, but
in essence, you're basically turning them into light, so they're there only temporarily, in a flash of black light, and then poof, because they disperse.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cuckoo.
Okay.
Can we do another strength test?
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Be
Green
nice.
feet this time around.
Yellow.
I'm just making it easier for you guys because I have ice.
Yeah, it's kicking in now.
No, stop.
Okay.
So what'd you get, Angler?
He got a green result.
Green.
Green. Okay, so green for Angler, Hyperion.
Red.
Ooh, Shown.
Yellow.
Oh, Xenofreeze.
White.
White.
Strength.
Run the gamut this time.
Why so white? All right, so
White man can't throw.
at this point, you guys are getting the last of the pieces through the teleportation diamond. Lightbringer, give me an intuition check.
Intuition.
Intuition.
Oh.
Yellow feet. Nice.
Yellow feet.
Mhm.
After you did that, you can now see, of course, that there are more of the black body beings starting to run this direction. Run, float, kind of, look, but you can actually start to see the buildings at this point start to converge and lose dissonance and shape.
Can we hurry it up?
Almost there. Keep at it.
You've actually got it at this point.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
go.
Everything's done. Everyone, into the diamond.
Go through.
So whoosh, everybody, racing back through the diamond, teleportation diamond at this point. And as the last person goes through, there's a slight crack of energy as you can hear the teleportation diamond slam shut. Literally, kind of like a door, between areas, just slam completely shut. And at that point, you can see that Black Mass had been monitoring the location, and you can see that the area almost briefly, because basically what he's doing to observe the area is he has a spell that allows him to look at places far away, scrying in essence.
He's scrying. Yeah. Exactly.
And you can see that he's still watching this, and you can see like that whole area almost turns completely black, into black body things.
We just barely made that one.
They did not like being converted to ultraviolet and dissipated.
Have we,
They
out
did.
of character, have we figured out what these things are?
I don't know if you were there for that conversation, but basically, yes.
Oh.
That's why she's able to manipulate them with her radiation.
All right.
Excellent work, everybody.
I didn't think we were going to get that done.
And so Black Mass is looking around, and as all of you make it through, and he says, "Congratulations! I don't know what exactly it was that you did, but whatever it is you did really made the dimension angry." As you guys can see, like the whole area just losing shape.
I'm just glad that's nowhere near here.
We are safe here, right?
We have spells in place that are keeping us hidden to the best of our knowledge, yes.
So what can we use
Holocaust.
from this ship? Oh, what were you going to say?
Holocaust probably has a concussion. I
If
think she
she's
bounced when I
still-
hit her into the sand.
If they haven't been pulverized by the antibodies.
Well done in holding them off.
Yeah, you guys made quite a ruckus. We could hear it from all the way where we were. At least I am assuming that was you.
Yeah.
That was some impressive lightning there, Thor.
And Thor comes walking over, and he says, "Why, thank you." He says, "Your compatriot is quite loud and active, both in mistake and in action."
Yes, I can attest to that. Yes.
Makes a
Oh,
good
and he-
fly swatter.
And he takes off his uniform at this point.
Is anyone injured?
No more than I normally take in a combat sortie.
Can we see the damage on his rocket?
It's like a
is the rock.
manifestation.
Yeah, it's an energy thing. Yeah, so it's his body. He's got some lumps and bruises.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
Do you need Lightbringer to heal you?
I mean, first aid. I've got some salves.
I'll
Hyperion.
take a couple aspirin if we have any, and then I'll move on. You need to be figuring out what's going on with the new Prussian technology since you're a bit more intimate.
Yes, but we need all of us up to being able to do this.
Of course.
And if this universe or whatever we happen to be in decides to start actively searching us out, we should be gone sooner rather than later. I will heal. We do not heal from death.
Hyperion, how much time do you think we have left before completion?
looking at the materials we got now, can I like estimate how soon we could probably get things done now with this, or would we still need more materials?
You need to actually review what it is that you have first before you can make
Okay.
that assumption.
Okay, I can.
But it needs some time to review what we actually have to determine if we need any more. In the meantime, Angler, so that we're all at our peak, make a quick trip to the facility's sick bay just to make sure nothing's been broken.
It's all
You're here to say,
right.
Lightbringer.
I can help you review what we've got with my familiarity with their
Yes.
technology.
That would be excellent.
What can I do to help? I mean, I can solder things, I guess.
Exactly. If actually you can help with those materials as far as the solder, and at the same time xenofreeze for any materials that need temperature change for freezing, if you could stand by.
I can assist with the soldering also. My nanotechnology gives me a little bit of skills in that aspect.
Excellent.
Just keep us at the right temperature so we don't blow something up.
Yes, I can maintain a lower temperature easily.
Excellent. Let's get these materials to the workshop.
Can Shone just like lay on a whole bunch and teleport them to the workshop?
Would you like to try that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Look,
I love the fact that she gambles with her teleportation, even though she knows that when she goes blind, she pops into
Well,
stuff.
she's not going blind. She's
Oh,
been
no.
in the workshop.
She has.
Yes.
Do you know who's in there?
No.
Of course.
So would
So go ahead, let it rip. Let's see what happens.
Oh boy.
would Hyperion see? I mean, so you're like doing the whole like trying.
He's trying to lay.
So
She's
so
trying to get as many pieces.
so as
to
you're
touch
doing
her.
that, Hyperion
he
goes.
falls into it like a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa!
Yeah.
The Nestea plunge.
Hyperion goes, I don't think it's necessary to teleport it. We don't want any of the materials to be damaged or anyone to be injured. It'll only take a few minutes to transport it by hand. If you could see directly to it, I'd understand, but that's not necessary.
I mean, at this point, others are scooping up pieces and just shuffling it off into the into the workshop to be worked on and reviewed.
Fine.
He does go to sick. He does go to sick bay, by the way.
Okay, sure.
All right. So then we work on picking up the pieces, taking it to the workshop, and working through it all.
Okay.
I want to roll just to see what would have happened.
A theoretic. Oh,
A green feet.
Green. Well,
You might not have killed somebody on accident. Da, 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 da.
Mostly dead. Not all dead.
Mostly dead. I'm 3/4 dead.
Gotta give her points for trying, thinking. I mean,
Tractor.
So, you managed to pull the pieces into the workshop. Who is reviewing them to determine what it is that you have?
Me, of course. And
You, of
Lightbringer.
course. Okay. Oh, and like, so who's making the roll?
not Brittany.
All right.
I can
Yeah,
see it on her face.
I guess I'm making the roll. I'll make
Okay.
the roll.
If I'm seeing anything small, because this is new Prussian technology, it's much more advanced than what we're normally dealing with. If I see anything, I want to be like, ooh, what's that? And maybe if it's not directly related to or necessary for what we're doing right now, I'd essentially like to pocket it for my own purposes.
Okay. Well, you don't know necessarily if it's vital for what it is they're doing. So are you going to wait till they review it, or are you just going to pocket right now?
Well, I wouldn't pocket it right now. I'd like pull it out and be like, "Ooh, what this? I could use this."
So it's still
Dale?
available.
You
You're
guys
just taking
need
a look
this?
at
Yeah.
different things. Okay.
Right.
Dale,
Okay,
take
so-
some karma.
Okay, so Dale,
Yeah.
you are rolling your reason.
Okay.
Lightbringer, what is your reason?
Amazing.
Okay, so you both have amazing, correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
So then it's going to be an MN75 roll.
75. Okay.
Ooh.
Monstrous.
When we put our heads together,
Yeah.
With our heads combined,
Ow! Ow!
we get a headache.
And an
Yellow
82
feet.
yellow feet.
Yeller.
Nice.
You're
All
just
right.
yellow.
All right.
Play your cards right. You live to talk about it.
So, what you have, I mean, again, there was only about a third of it missing. So you have most of one of those drop ships at this point. So you can see where the cockpit was at. Part of the controls are still there. So for navigational purposes, this might be something you can use to convert for that dimensional temporal key.
Okay.
There is obviously quantum mechanics at play here as well for the flight systems and the power core. The power core itself. The power core can be used to amplify the portal, in essence, that you're trying to make, which, if converted correctly, will assist in powering the portal itself, and take the strain off the individual having to do it, i.e. Shown.
Gotcha.
Sean's going to get a very concerned look on her face when she realizes something.
In the middle of like taking a look at stuff, if he notices, Gurren will go, "Is everything all right, Sean?"
This is from New Prussia.
Yes.
The only way it could have got here is if those things are also in New Prussia.
or if the ship came to Strongford.
We don't know
And
how
I'm-
much damage has been done since we've left.
equally,
I'm hoping that that's the case, but if it's not, I mean, really, what are we going back to?
In
It is
Earth's
hard to say
decades
when we are
state.
when we are traveling interdimensionally. Theoretically, because we know not of what exactly the ramifications or the time frame comparison is, we could be going back multiple years in the future, or even decades, perhaps centuries. Or even with the relationship of interdimensional travel, we could be going back to the past. It's very hard to say.
The temporal key that we're trying to generate should help to synchronize us with the correct period of time. Our proper time that we as individuals are experiencing right now could be synced up with an approximate proper time of our dimension. Hopefully, the amount of time dilation won't be too extreme, as, of course, seems to be your worry. The goal is that we arrive shortly after we had left, at least not too long. That way we can provide aid, assuming these black body beings are invading our world.
And then Lightbringer can do that thing that she did to destroy what's in Strongford so it can't spread. Right?
yeah, I can certainly try it.
Let me know when I get back, Jerome.
Yeah, sure. So as you guys are debating this, Megalith is like looking at the, at the pieces that you brought in here, and he's like, "Wow, that looks kind of cool." Does this thing have like a black box or flight logs or something that most flying vessels have that might tell you what happened?
Excellent idea. Let's take a
She
look.
just smiles.
I was
He's
actually
so
wondering,
smart.
I was actually
He's
wondering
got big muscles.
if there was any piece of this that might have something like um, a time or a date log, or if I could figure out how old it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that would give us an idea of what the date was when it came in.
Yeah. Hyperion will help try to look for a black box or whatever data recorder it's got. Yeah, to get that info.
Okay.
So while we're looking for this, she's going to ask him, "Have you figured out a time frame?"
Who are you asking that?
Hyperion.
Oh,
A time frame with regard to when we'll be
How-
able to arrive.
Yeah, when we can finish this and get home.
Oh, how long it will take us to finish it.
Oh,
So-
basically if you're almost done yet.
Yeah. So Jerome, would Hyperion be able to then analyze about how long it'll take to complete the portal?
well, you're trying to do two things at once. You're looking for the black box,
That's true.
or unless you want somebody else to do that.
I can look for a black box.
Okay. So Lightbringer, why don't you roll your reason again to see if you can
Maybe
locate.
someone else can look for a black box. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm half kidding.
Do I
Okay,
hear this
a
over the
reason check?
communication network we have?
No.
Okay.
But you're walking up at this point back to the workshop where a lot of people are kind of converged, going over the items that you brought in. And
It'll
then
be-
while she's doing that, Hyperion, why don't you go ahead and roll to determine where you're at with the plans?
I get 80 for looking for the black box. Yellow.
Got a
Ooh.
yellow, and I
It'll
rolled
be
a
bright
75,
orange
also
with
yellow feet.
stripes.
It'll be what?
Bright orange with either yellow or black stripes.
What will?
The black box.
Black box is not black.
No, it's orange so it can be visible.
It's called the black box just as a nickname, essentially.
So we both got yellow feet.
Okay, so Lightbringer, since you have actually worked with some of this tech before, you're able to locate it without a problem. It looks like it's mostly intact.
Would I be able to figure out how to open it,
Oh yeah.
access or whatever?
Yep.
Can I read it?
You're gonna have to hook it up to something to read. Essentially it's like a hard drive that holds the
Hey.
the data from its last flight.
Do we have? I'm going to look around to see if there's anything we can plug it into.
I mean, there's computers here.
Maybe I should ask somebody before plugging in random technology.
Okay. So hold that thought then. Hyperion, at this point, you have, you almost have everything you need with the junk basically collected from this. It's a matter of taking time to put it together, as well as, trying to run some debugs. Because the last thing you want to do is have on its maiden flight not have any tests done.
Right. Could I estimate then how long till like the first prototype before you're doing tests and whatnot?
If you work on it without any downtime, you can probably have a prototype ready to go in the next couple of days.
All right. So then he's like looking at all the materials and you can tell he's doing some calculations in his head. And then he turns to Shone. Prototype should be fabricated within the next 48 hours.
So Lightbringer, you were asking if you could plug it in? Plug it
Yes.
in, plug it in.
I will ask somebody if I can plug it in.
So Megalith is like, I'm sure you could plug it into the systems here.
You don't mind?
No, of course not. I don't mind. I mean, they all came with this place anyway, so I don't know if it's a security issue or whatnot, but or if they have the appropriate jacks. But go ahead.
Okay,
All of you seem to know what you're doing.
I will attempt to plug it in.
Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead and give me another reason check, because you're going to have to actually make something.
Is it
Everyone, ignore me. I'm being 12.
Okay. Duly noted.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Nice.
Okay, so you have to do the find several adapter trick sort of thing in order to put something together to make it adaptable for this particular device.
Matching dongles.
Yes. But when you access it, you turn the the machines on and review it. The last pieces of data the flight recorder has is from Argentina.
Oh,
It's from the Argentina. It's from the war in Argentina.
like
okay.
days
That's-
or like months before our intradimensional abduction?
This is very strange.
What are you finding?
It came from Argentina during the war.
How is that possible?
Don't know.
It seems to fall in line at least partially with how the others have arrived here.
Does
We
it?
arrived here directly because of our interaction with the black body beings in their portals, but none of the others here had direct interactions with them until they're here. On their worlds, they had apocalypses that forced them here. It seems the amount of energy released perhaps is poking holes between realities and allowing the things within those discharges to fall through and arrive here. Something to that nature.
Jerome, are there coordinates on this?
Actually, yeah, there would be 100%.
Would I be able to tell like where in Argentina specifically? My guess is, or what I'm really wondering is whether it was anywhere near, for example, the school that had that unusual energy.
Right, the energy flux, correct.
Right.
So no, it wasn't. It actually was one of the ones that was in flight around the time that you rescued those deviants from the slave ring.
The cat house.
Yep, the cat house.
Okay, interesting. I can pinpoint the time and place to nearby when we rescued those girls.
When I zapped those guys to oblivion?
Could
That's
be.
right. Nothing overly energetic was happening in that moment in time that I remember.
Oh.
Being at that location, would Hyperion remember, was there any weird large energy discharge, an
No,
explosion
you've got total
nearby?
memory, so no, or total recall, whatever that power or talent is.
Yeah.
You don't recall anything like that.
Okay.
Total recall. 2 weeks ago.
Go ahead and continue 1 second.
Yeah.
So, do you think that our physical resources would be better used on rotating shifts?
I don't need rest, so I can work continuously. Those who do need rest should rest. Now that we know that Holocaust is out there, even though she's been temporarily beaten, she now knows there are others, definitely. She may be on the hunt for us. She was able to detect our presence from a decent ways away.
She already knew that she was not alone here, right?
That's true, but now she's aware that there are others. And now we're aware that she can actually detect us at range without seeing us.
If she's still alive.
Did Angler get back by now? I forget. Did he arrive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Hyperion
So-
goes. Angler,
She'd look to him.
how injured were your aggressors? How much damage were you able to do?
I couldn't tell you. Holocaust, which I think is someone y'all were probably discussing while I was training last week, is built like a brick house. Thor was pounding on her, and even after being slammed into the sand pretty hard, she only seemed dazed. But we know how concussions are. Concussions can still affect SPBs, so she might be reeling from a concussion right now. That was a hard slam into the dirt.
The antibodies, how were they reacting where you guys were?
They were getting belligerent.
So they were changing to black?
Yes. But by the time me and Thor had knocked Holocaust away from us, we decided that it would be good to rejoin you guys.
Which was
Excellent
smart.
choice.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a probability that the antibodies got her and her minions.
There is.
I'm not going to worry about that. That's a them thing. We are going to worry about ourselves and not getting digested by whatever we're in.
Yeah,
I concur wholeheartedly.
And I don't know if we're actually in a body. I don't know if we're being attacked by antibodies. I'm just saying in general. Whatever, wherever, whoever we are in is trying to keep us here.
Clearly,
it might even be trying to sedate us into just conforming to what's going on. I think we should continue to try and get out of here.
Of course.
So, we need to find out who all can do what so we can figure out some shifts.
Of course. Anyone with technical, scientific, or engineering experience should, of course, be working on the device as much as possible. Anyone with energy projection abilities can help with actually manufacturing, since we don't have all the tools necessary.
I can break down the weapons.
Excellent. Anything that can be done.
I'll start melting away parts of the hull. Get to the decent bits. Worst comes to worst, we can reheat the slag and form it into better pieces while we're here.
Excellent. Lightbringer, you have the most experience with this particular type of technology. So, of course, assist in everybody when disassembling to make sure that no crucial pieces are destroyed.
I can supervise.
Okay.
So Megalith at that point chimes in and he says, I know I'm a little late to the conversation, he says, but Black Mass and I were kicking around the idea that since all of you were here because of those, I guess you said you had a initial run-in with those black body things, and we did not, that perhaps this could be some sort of weakening between the barriers of the dimension or radiation seepage.
That may be the case.
We've been trying to look into, although it's irrelevant here, as a future plan, we've been looking into a way of perhaps developing some sort of spike or a pole or some sort of device that might help strengthen the barrier between there and here, essentially preventing this sort of energy from entering into that dimension. It's all hypothetical again, of course. We have to get there first, but...
Of course, if you're needing any assistance, of course, Lightbringer and I can assist as we did with this technology. But that will be crucial once we get there. If the beings are still there, which could be the case, we'll need to repel them. Excellent. Any questions on what everyone needs to do?
I'm going to be used as a human
Sorry.
torch again.
A human torch. We should call you that.
Human
you know-
blowtorch.
Your new nick.
Is it
I
what?
think torch is good.
Excellent.
Your new nickname. Okay, so Sean will.
Was Xenofreeze
Start-
over there like,
I'm gonna start breaking down the weapons.
Okay. So you guys are working on the parts at this point, starting to put everything else back together. That is where we're going to go ahead and stop for the night. So because we've got almost 3 hours in at this point. So next week on Wednesday, we will have our Cyberpunk game at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Drop by and join that. It's going to be fun as always, if not chaotic.
I haven't died yet, so it's good.
Then on Thursday at 7 p.m., we have our Street Fighter game with some of our other players. So that's fun as well. That ought to be interesting. And then the following the following Saturday, the next Saturday coming up, is going to be Ashland Blood Ties, which is at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So drop by and check those out if you have the opportunity or chance or you're so inclined. Also, if you're in the area in Phoenix, from August 11th to the 13th, we will be at Game On Expo hosting some panels. We're there to chat, help you with any questions that you might have in game. We've had a great turnout for the previous ones we did at Phoenix Fan Fusion. So we look forward to seeing everybody there and or at our next game. Thank you guys for tuning in and of course on the replays, and have a good night.